What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys all of these new changes I've made to almost every single last one of my STORMWORKS vehicles. We have the Doppler on wheels 3 and 6 right in front of me, and we also have 2009 Dom 1, which is brand new, and I haven't made a video on any of these three vehicles, and that is because they've all been in the works. I've been very quiet, I'd say. I've done a couple of leaks here and there of them, but otherwise, I haven't posted in over 2 weeks, and now here I am. I'm getting back into posting, as now all my vehicles are finally finished. And now that they are, I've updated everything from the Tivs to the Dominators to the Dows, and they're all on the workshop and everything else. This is going to be amazing. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and yeah, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So, as you guys can see, right before me, we have Doppler on wheels 3 and Doppler on wheels 6, and then 2009 Dom 1 in the middle. Doppler on wheels 3 is the one to the far right, Doppler on wheels 6 is the one to the far left. So, we're going to go ahead and start off with the 2009 Dominator 1. So, this is the 2009 Dominator 1. This is based off of the real-life 2009 Dom 1, and it is quite a bit different from the other DOMs I've made. It uses the same Dom 1 chassis and most of the whole body, but so as you can see in the front, the whole front half of the Dom from this back door where that seam is forward is all from the original Dom 1 that I made. So there's a couple of key differences. One, you might notice the color. It is now very, very bright red, the true Dom 1 color. You know, can't have Dom 1, or at least 09 Dom 1 without the true Dominator 1 red. And then also we have the tornado logo looking thing here. It's very hard to do on angled blocks, so I just put a T here to kind of look like a tornado. Anyway, we have some new lights down here. They're just there for style, and then we have our new little grill looking thing here. So that was pretty cool. And then we also have on the doors here, at least on driver and passenger side, we have this little white colored blocks right here that's supposed to look like the lettering. I think it said tornadovideos.net, something like that. What the heck was that? Anyway, so here in the back, like I said, from that seam this way, the Dominator 1 has gotten an entire rear end redesign. What the heck is happening to Dow 3? As you can see, we now have an entirely different rear end. We have some new taillights here and here, but you also have some taillights in here, and you're probably like, well, why do you have taillights down here and here? Why is there a need for that? Well, because in the real life Dom 1, that was basically a modified Chevy, I believe it was a Tahoe, yeah, Chevy Tahoe, yeah. So it was originally a modified Chevy Tahoe, and all they did was just put armor around it like a massive shell, so the body of the Tahoe was still there, and that's what this is for. Even to date, it still has the Chevy Tahoe body, but they redid the back end, and it no longer has the rear taillights of the Tahoe, as far as I'm aware. Anyway, so we have a trunk now, and all you do is you open it up like this, and it opens up just like the real Dom 1 from 2009. And we have our little probe in here. You can just grab it, and then you can, place it in the path of tornadoes, and you can deploy it. The probe has changed a little bit, as now you no longer need infinite electricity to work it, as it now has a battery. And it's a lot like the twisted probe, actually, where whenever it hits a certain amount of wind, it will record the highest amount of wind you got, rather than just saying it gets to that wind and then it goes back down. As you can see, the fastest winds this has seen so far is 5 miles per hour, 5.71 miles per hour. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So now if we go ahead and shut the DOM 1, that's how it's supposed to be. The button's up on the top. As you can see, the exhaust now comes down. Now, many of you guys think that this hole is a bug and this isn't supposed to be here. Well, in the actual Dominator one, it is actually there. And albeit it's probably not that big, but nonetheless, it is there. And it also serves a functional purpose for this DOM one that I made, because if I deploy, as you can see, it goes around the exhaust pipe, and if that block was there, it would not deploy. So that definitely did help me there. So anyways, as you could see here, we have the back end. So the cab is literally the same as all the other DOMs up until these rear seats, and then it gets into this little back end looking area, which is where you store your probe. So that's basically all there is back here. And you have your fuel port, which I think that's in a different spot on this one, but actually it might not be. Who knows? Anyway, so that is 2009 Dominator 1 in STORMWORKS, and it is brand new. It's been posted to the workshop for quite a while, but this is the first video I ever made on it, so very good there. Now, let's go ahead and move over to the Doppler on Wheels 3. So this is a Doppler on wheels, or short, if you want to, shorten it, instead of saying Doppler on Wheels 3 each time, you can just say Dow 3 for Doppler on wheels. So this is a radar truck which is designed to scan storms and tornadoes, and its sole purpose is to figure out how storms work and all that other amazing stuff. So I have decided to make it here in STORMWORKS, and if I'm being honest, this is probably the most realistic Dow 3 I've ever seen. So as you can see here, we have the Doppler on Wheels 3, or Dow 3, on the doors. I have no idea what is happening to the suspension. This is a really old seat of mine, so newer vehicles probably don't like it. Anyway, so we have some tail lights here, just like the real Dow 3. And then we have, what was the other one? Oh yeah, headlights here. Now, we also have a hood, so if you go ahead and look on the inside, beneath your gear, there's going to be a hood button, so you can access your hood in case you need to do some maintenance on it. I really, really like the way I designed that hood and engine. I think it just looks really, really good. So anyway, we have that. And then not only do we have that, but you guys are probably wondering, how do we move this vehicle? Well, all the vehicles have a starter button somewhere on them, but it's super simple. You find the starter, it's either going to be on the inside, like on DOM 1, but on the Dows, they don't have a starter on the dash. Instead, they have it in the seat controls, so you can just go ahead and toggle them that way. So now the starter is active. They control and drive the exact same way as every other vehicle I've made, so if you're wondering on how to drive them, just look at any of my tutorials on like the DOM 1, 2, 3, and all the TIVs. Those will teach you how to drive these, because all their drivetrains are literally the exact same, because they all drive around the same speed anyway. So yeah, starting and driving them, they're all very similar. One may have rear wheel drive, the other one might have all wheel drive. That's like the only difference. So yeah. Anyway, so we have a couple of gauges here. We have our gear gauge. That just tells you what gear you're in. We have our miles per hour, and then we have our fuel, which we currently have 160 gallons worth of it. It's a lot of fuel. I don't think it'll be running out of that anytime soon. Well, you might actually. This thing's quite a fuel guzzler for how it's decently heavy. Anyway, so here in the back we have two doors in case you want to access it from the outside, so you don't have to climb in through the driver's seat and then jump in the back. You can just jump in through here. So that is definitely really cool. anyway, so we have back here some fire extinguishers and welding torches, and also some flashlights in case you need to be able to look around if your power's out or something, which shouldn't happen, but who knows? I don't know the predicament you're in. So anyway, here we have a couple of switches and we have a couple of monitors. So this will we flipped these. These are just power. As you can see, I can't press all these buttons. I can only press this one because there is no breaker for it. But the other ones, I'm pressing them and I can't press them because they don't have power running to them. Now, if I put infinite electric on, yeah, I'll be able to press these all I want. But that's not how I've designed them. I much rather prefer it to be more realistic, so you flip this. So yeah. What I like about these is when I had first made all my Dominators and all that other stuff, the first few before I upgraded to an engine, they were electric motor based, which means they would run out of power super fast and they would just deplete all their energy. And yeah, they'd run out of power insanely quick. So yeah, that was definitely a shame. But now that all my vehicles, now that I figured out how to make engines and stuff, it's a piece of cake now. So now they all do not need infinite fuel or electric anymore, and I'm very proud about that. So anyway, so this is power to radar. You just flip that to where it says on, and then you're just going to click the turn on radar. That's just going to put up a little camera in front of the Dow. That's just going to turn that on. But what you might notice is that little anemometer mast back there, it raises up whenever you turn it on to gather more wind that way. More wind data and pressure and all that other nice stuff. Here we have the power to the ambers. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just flip that and the amber lights come on, so that is very nice. And then you have power to dish. All this does is it turns on the dish and then it'll start rotating. Now, if you think this is all it does, well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you'd be wrong. It actually also turns on this little monitor up here, which then tells you your wind, temp, rain, and fog all on this little screen. And it is in miles per hour and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So, and it also tells you what direction your vehicle is pointing. In this case, the front of our vehicle is facing behind me, okay, that way. So yeah, that is pretty cool. And then yeah, the dish rotates and it'll continue to rotate until you flip it off. So anyway, I found that pretty cool. And then yeah, it puts itself back up. So that, I don't know, I just found that super cool when I made the Dell. Anyway, so we have this little access hatch in case you need to access some of your tools from the outside. Can't really hop through there, but nonetheless. So this is Doppler on Wheels 3, and I am, oh man, I'm very proud about this. Although something I did not show, which I guess I probably should. We also have some nice decals here. But no, this button that doesn't have a breaker, it says turn on legs. That will deploy the legs on the Dow 3 and lift us in the air. So now the vehicle's wheels is no longer on the ground. So that is actually really cool, as the real Dow 3 did that. So I don't know. I just find this Dow 3 super cool. I'm very happy with it. So it may have been a very long wait, but I hope you guys really enjoy this. So anyway, with all that said, we're going to move over to Doppler on Wheels 6, which I'm also very proud of. I'm actually really happy how this one turned out too. Looks like they both have this bouncing disease for my old seed. Anyway, so we're just going to go ahead and go around the vehicle. We have quite a bit of cool stuff here. So we have these little hazard looking things here, the red and white. We have our tail lights here. And then, yeah, we have some supplies here, welding torch and a fire extinguisher on each side. And then the wheels and everything else, they're colored right. The ride height's perfect. We have this little decorative box here just for style on each side. And then we have our legs, which you can actually see one here. Two here in the back, these little things right here. I know it doesn't look like a leg, but trust me, they are. And then we have this one here in the front, and then we also have another one here. So this is right here, just a little storage box. It contains some flashlights and binoculars in case you need to really telescope in on a tornado and be able to see to do maintenance on your vehicle. We have a spare here, which doesn't actually work, it's just for looks, but nonetheless, I do actually kind of like that. And then we also have the tornado here and the I forget what badge that was, but it's a badge. or I guess a decal on the Dow. So on the driver's side, left, or yeah, so on the driver's side rear door, if we pop this open, we have wiring, which is yet again just for looks, but I do really like that because this door has to be blocked off for some of the monitors, and so I figured, well, you don't want to be looking at a black abyss when you open it. That would be kind of lame, so I have decided to add some wires here to make it look a little cooler. And if we come in here, the interior is a gray interior. As from images, it looks gray to me, but I've never been inside the actual DAO, so I have no idea. So, yet again, starter simple. It's just wired to one. It's fairly simple, I feel. And then we also have our parking brake and then the hood. So you just go ahead and put the parking brake, and then the hood will open. Yeah, well, yet again, I'm very happy with how the way the Dow turned out, so we're just going to go ahead and close the hood. And we're going to get back to probably the most interesting part about Dow 6, and probably my favorite part, is this radar area right here. So we have a bunch of monitors, they all work, we also have a whole bunch of switches. So we're going to go ahead and sit down. As you can see, we can turn on the legs. It's very simple, and we will deploy the Dow 6, and now we are lifted off of the ground, so we're lifted quite a ways. As you can see, there's the rear legs. We need those for stability. Need as much of that as possible. And then we have the ambers, yet again, self-explanatory, just turns on some flashers in the back. And then here we have power to radar. If we go ahead and turn on the radar, that will show us a map, an actual radar. And not only does it turn on these, but it also will raise and lower the anemometer mast, which I thought was super, super cool. So that part is definitely pretty sweet. And it actually goes up a lot higher than Dow 3, so yeah, that's pretty cool. And the last little toggle switch is power to dish. If we flip this, it'll turn on these screens down here, and then it'll also start rotating the radar dish in the back of Dow 6. So as you can see, we have two screens, which you might be wondering, why two? Aren't they the same? Well, sort of. They are the same displays. They're the same size and everything else. One, however, is red and one's blue. I figure that's pretty obvious. But one, its wind readings read in kilometers per hour. The other one reads in miles per hour. One reads in Celsius and one reads in Fahrenheit. So one in the this system and then one in this system. So yeah, pretty cool there. And then blue to match like some of the tools, like metric tools, they're blue typically, and then imperial tools are typically red. Or so I find, like, like a socket wrench or something. So that's why these are colored that way. Anyway, so yeah, it's pretty cool. I definitely really, really like the Dow 6 and Dow 3. They are very, very cool. I'm very happy and proud of them. I don't know, I'm just so happy how these vehicles turned out. So if we come here to the workbench, you can see here that every single last one of my chaser vehicles, like the Dominators and all that stuff, not only do the main ones have them right here, and where's Dom 2? Where's Dom 2? Oh, there he is. So not only do we have them right here, here, and here, the original, not only do we have these three, but all of their variants now also have thumbnails. 2013 Dom 1, 2014 Dom 2, 2013. The list just goes on. So yeah, these are super cool. I'm very happy. So now each of them have photos, thumbnails of their own. And yeah, so now you'll be able to know easier which one's which, rather than having to look at something like this, where you could see it, but I could see how on some of the variants you could get confused with looking at images like this. But here it tells you, so that I am pretty happy about. But anyways, with all that said, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. All these vehicles are on the workshop. I'll leave links to these three in the description. More videos are going to come out now that these projects are done. I have a lot more free time to make more videos rather than work on STORMWORKS projects 24/7. The next video is going to be a sinking ship survival video, so we're going to see if we can survive a ship sinking. So yeah, this should be pretty good. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and of course, subscribe.